Welcome to Falcon Update here on YBTV. I'm Sarah Marshall.
And I'm Ethan Gregory. On December 2nd, YBTV is excited to announce that we will be hosting a town hall with the new provost, Dr. Christine J. Gardner. Dr. Gardner will be joining us for an hour, answering an array of questions about herself and how she is hoping to affect Messiah's campus. Make sure to tune in at 7. You won't want to miss it.
The Career and Professional Development Center hosted a summer camp career fair. Students had the opportunity to introduce themselves to approximately 20 different summer camps. This allows students who might already be interested but might not know which camp is best for them. Plus, there were many cool prizes and giveaways from each camp.
They're specific for summer camps. The reason we do that is we have over 30 that typically come, and if we hosted them at our expo, that would be a very large number of our employers that are there. So we host just summer camps so that our students that are interested in a summer camp position or internship can attend these days, and it's a very targeted fair for our students.
The CPDC creates many events similar to this one, so make sure you stay up to date and check out your email for all future career fairs.
Student Ministries hosted their Grilled Cheeses and Jesus pop-up in the Fishbowl. Students had the opportunity to gather together to play games, eat grilled cheeses, engage in theological conversation with their peers, and arguably most important, debate if pineapple does or doesn't belong on pizza.
Our kind of bread and butter is all about engaging with difficult questions about God, about faith, and so we want to open up spaces for that, and we thought, what's a better way to open that up than with free grilled cheese?
For more information about upcoming Student Ministries events, you can visit their Instagram at Messiah Student Men.
On Friday, Minds Matter held their Neurodiversity Fair. During the fair, students had an opportunity to de-stress and refocus. Students were able to relax with fidgeting toys, slime, color, and test themselves with some trivia. They were also able to sign up for a raffle and win prizes.
So Minds Matter is really important because every student has mental health, and within the mental health aspect, there are lots of different people who have different diagnoses and different experiences that we need to embrace and talk about and destigmatize. So a big part of that is neurodiversity, and a lot of our events do kind of center around neurodiversity, different mental health conditions, things like depression, anxiety, and with this specific event, this is more of a celebration and sharing space, and then also like we're doing trivia, we're doing games. It's going to be very much like a casual space where people can learn and share and intermingle with maybe people who they don't understand and experience it.
To keep up to date with Minds Matter and their upcoming events, follow them on Instagram at Minds Matter Messiah.
Saturday was dedicated to the sleuths as SAB hosted Who Dunnit, a life-size version of the classic game Clue, tailored specifically for the Messiah community. Students assembled in Boyer Hall for an afternoon brimming with mystery and intrigue, where every clue was of utmost importance. 8 suspects were stationed in various rooms on the second floor of Boyer and were thoroughly interrogated by different teams. The winning team received individual copies of the game Clue, along with a variety of gift cards to local restaurants and stores.
This is an event called Who Dunnit. It's basically a crime, like a life-size clue / escape room crime, where students are trying to figure out who painted the colored bridge blue. The event took place the entire second floor of Boyer, with every single classroom being a small escape room type thing so that people can figure out who did the mystery. And I held this event just to bring something new to campus, definitely to give students something cool and fun to do over their weekend, and I think it's going pretty well, and I think people seem to be enjoying themselves.
For more fun events like this one, be sure to follow SAB on Instagram at Messiah SAB.
The music department had a plethora of recitals this weekend, one of them being a joint recital between 2 sophomores playing clarinet and piano. Caleb Wiegers has more.
both separately planning on doing a half recital. There's two different kinds of recitals here. There's half and whole. If it's a half recital, that's usually a joint recital, meaning it's with someone else and you guys collaborate.
So putting together the recital was kind of interesting because I'm a commuter who lives 35-40 minutes away from campus. So working out times that we were both available was quite interesting.
Messiah has a healthy and delicious new addition outside the Falcon Fitness Center. Jessica Fannin has the story.
I'm Jessica Fannin and I'm outside the Falcon Fitness Center. We're going to learn a little bit more about a new addition to Messiah's campus. Let's go check it out.
Peter and Stuart Shapiro started Blenny in 2019 with one goal in mind.
We're trying to, give people a good smoothie at a good price just so they can stay away from the sugary drinks and get a real fruit drink at a decent price.
This business that has caught the eye of Shark Tank has expanded to all over the world.
So Blenny Blends basically our elevator pitch. We're an automated smoothie shop in just 12 square feet. Our big competitive advantages from the machine itself is the unit we have doesn't need a water line, it doesn't need a waistline, it doesn't need a power upgrade. So when we go to a location, we say, we're literally going to give you these delicious, healthy smoothies that you're going to be able to make in 1 minute, and we need nothing from you.
So talking to Mark Wirtz with Dining Services, he had seen the smoothie machine on Shark Tank and kind of asked me would I be interested in that. And so my first question was, what are the nutrient facts and do they even taste good?
We found a lot of other machines. They tasted either very syrupy, they're filled with added sugars. A lot of the drinks, even in like sports centers, we saw it was all sugar-based drinks.
Yeah, so the goal of the smoothie machine is basically provide another food option for community members, students, faculty, staff, etc. To kind of move forward with that, to provide another opportunity for students to grab something nutritious on the way to class or in the morning if a dining hall or Union or Falcon aren't open for some reason. So it is fresh fruit. They come in basically these NASA sealed bags that are shelf stabled. So it's fruit puree, there's no added sugars to them, to all the fruit ones. All the fruit ones, the only sweetener is the fruit itself.
Okay, so I'm going to taste test it. Okay, that's really good. Yeah. Thank you so much for your recommendation. Thank you for your time. Okay, so now it's time for our anchors to taste test these smoothies. So guys, let us know what you think. Sending it back to the desk.
Enjoy. Quite delicious. I had the tropical blend. I get a little bit of pineapple and mango. Very nice.
I got the strawberry banana. It's not bland at all. It's very flavorful.
Can't go wrong.
No, but we'll be right back with Falcon Update after this.
We don't want our students to feel like they have to wait until they've graduated to start serving and meeting the needs of society. So we want students to have an opportunity to work on projects that meet real needs even while they're students in the program. Messiah students are exciting to work with because they understand that God has uniquely gifted them to do something, and they're excited to follow Him in that and to follow Him in their careers.
One of my best moments as a student here at Messiah was when I was traveling to Mexico with a collaboratory.
The collaboratory's business model is that it pairs student teams with either faculty mentors or outside professionals to work on systems that either care for the earth or help disadvantaged people around the world.
I learned so many amazing things about just cultural differences and how to adapt and work alongside, not just how to help someone else, but how to empower them to further their lives and also advance my academics in the process. So that is by far one of my favorite memories from Messiah.
Welcome back to Falcon Update. I'm Ethan Gregory.
And I'm Sarah Marshall. Ethan, how was your week?
It was good. I enjoyed it. I was up in Massachusetts with my soccer team, and we were able to play in the NCAA tournament, so it was great. And yours?
That's great. It was lovely. I spent the weekend with my family, which is always such
that's
a
awesome.
nice time. But yeah.
Let's take a look at this week's weather. Jessica Fannin has your Falcon forecast.
Hello and welcome to this week's Falcon Forecast. I'm Jessica Fannin, and guess who wasn't a happy camper last week? This girl, because it was cold, but this week we're working with much more mild temperatures, so let's get right into it. So right now we're sitting at about 55 degrees, and tonight's moon phase is a waning gibbous. And if you missed it, on Saturday we had a supermoon, which just means the moon was closest to the Earth that it will be in its orbit. And that was the last one of 2024, so make sure you look up some pictures if you missed it. So let's take a look at this week's surface map. So as you can see, we have a pretty congested surface map this week, especially in our region of the country. So let me break it down for you. So we have a cold and warm front that's going to come together, and that's going to bring some milder temperatures for the beginning of the week. But as you can see, that blue front is going to come our way and bring some rain and colder temperatures. So let's take a look at our temperature map. So as you can see, today was pretty mild. We were in the 60s. It was a beautiful day, and that is going to continue until Wednesday when we'll get more of our fall temperatures, and it's going to start to get a little chillier for the rest of the week. So let's take a look at our expected humidity. So as you can see, our humidity for this week is pretty high. So especially on Wednesday, we're going to be at 74%. And the rest of the week, we're also going to experience some higher humidity. And that's going to correlate with that front of rain that's going to come through. That'll affect us mainly on Thursday and Friday. So let's take a look at our Tuesday planner. So Tuesday is looking beautiful. Sunrise is at 7 a.m. and that is when our lowest temperature will be 40 degrees, and our high will be at around 4 p.m., which will be 59 degrees. But other than that, we're going to get plenty of sun tomorrow, so it's going to be a beautiful day. So let's take a look at the rest of the week. So as you can see, the rest of the week is a multitude of different weather. We're going to get some sun on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then that's going to go away through Thursday through Saturday. We're going to get some clouds, but then the sun's going to pop right back in for the rest of the week. And as you can see, the temperatures at night are going to start to get chillier. So if any of you have any night classes, make sure you're bundling yourselves up on your way to night class. So enjoy the rest of your week, Messiah. That's all for this week's Falcon Forecast.
Thanks, Jessica. Now let's see what's happening around Messiah. Garrett Fannin has this week's campus calendar.
I am Garrett Fannin doing this week's campus calendar. Let's not waste another second and let's get right into it. On Tuesday from 9 to 9:30 a.m., Student Ministries will be hosting Fall Drinks Pop-Up. Come early to chapel and enjoy some warm apple cider and hot chocolate as chapel speaker Joshua Calderon takes the stage. Love God, love people, love your neighbor, and love yourself. Tuesday night, Rodrigo de Mendoza and Rebecca Walker will host coffee and calling in Hostier Chapel from 7 to 7. Then, a vocal jazz concert will be harmonizing the stage the same night from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the High Foundation Recital Hall. This event is free, so take a break from studies and enjoy some amazing music. The third annual Thank You Thursday will be held this Thursday outside the Welcome Center, providing refreshments to students who stop by on their way to class from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. Stop by and learn about all the amazing opportunities the Welcome Center has. On Friday night, the High Center will host a symphony orchestra concert from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. with Timothy Dixon as conductor. Come and enjoy some blissful music. On Friday, from 8 to 10 p.m. and Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. and 8 to 10 p.m. SAB Lost Films represents The Wild Robot. A robot gets stranded on an island and must bond with the animals to survive. This event will cost $1 and take place in the Palmer Cinema. On Saturday, the Department of Communications is hosting Breaking Bread, a digital media capstone, a digital media experience of mini documentaries exploring the effects of food on individuals' stories, culture, and communities. This event will take place in the Boyer Atrium from 6 to 8 p.m. On Sunday, Abigail Weller takes the stage in her senior conducting recital from 2 to 3 p.m. This event is free and will take place in the High Foundation Recital Hall. That's all for this week. I'm Garrett Fannin, and for YBTV, see y'all next time.
Thank you, Garrett. For this week's Falcon on the Street, Caitlin Mitchum went around asking students what their favorite musicals are. Let's see what they had to say.
Hi everyone, welcome back to this week's Falcon on the Street. Come along as we ask the question, what's everyone's favorite musical in honor of Wicked coming out this weekend?
Okay. My favorite musical is Hamilton. Just because I think they tell the story of Hamilton really well in like a really creative way. So yeah, I love the music too.
My favorite musical is The Greatest Showman because it's the only one I've ever seen.
My favorite musical is Les Miserables by, is it Sondheim? I forgot who wrote the lyrics, but it's based on the novel by Victor Hugo, and it's a tremendous story of redemption and mercy and grace and the battle between mercy and justice, and it's great. I love it. Yeah, everybody should listen to the soundtrack. Yeah.
So I like a lot of musicals, but I would have to say that my favorite is the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Because it's just really funny, and the I Love You song is like one of the best musical theater songs out there in my opinion. Yeah.
My favorite musical would probably be Hadestown, kind of basic, but the music is incredible and I love Greek myth. It's so fun.
Me personally, my favorite musical is Hamilton and the Heathers. That's all for this week's Falcon on the Street. For YBTV, I'm Caitlin Mitchum.
Thanks, Caitlin. Charlie Jones is here to uncover more of Messiah's history in this week's Vault.
Welcome back to The Vault, where I unlock Messiah's history 1 week at a time. I'm your host, Charlie Jones. Tonight, we will conclude our look back at Messiah's distinguished line of presidents and the impact that each of them has made on this institution. Picking up where we left off, Messiah's 7th president was Dr. Rodney J. Sawatsky, who took up the presidency in 1994. His goal as president was to further develop the school's identity and advance academic excellence. He reconstructed Messiah, splitting the college into 5 interdisciplinary schools with an academic dean for each one. He also launched the Harrisburg Institute, which linked learning and service in the Harrisburg area through a living and learning community. President Sawatsky oversaw the construction of the Ernest L. Boyer Center, the Agape Center, and the Jordan Science Center and the Larson Student Union. Due to a sudden decline in his health, however, President Sawatsky retired in 2004, passing the office of the president to Messiah's 8th and current president, Dr. Kim S. Phipps. President Phipps sought to make Messiah stand out and maximize its potential. She added several new majors, putting Messiah's number of academic programs above 80, and instituted Messiah's graduate school, offering over 30 graduate programs and certificates. In 2018, the Board of Trustees announced that Messiah College would change its name to Messiah University. This was to reflect the development of Messiah's curriculum and boost enrollment. After all of her hard work to improve the school, President Phipps has announced her retirement following the end of the 2024-2025 academic year. We don't know what the future holds for Messiah's next president, but I'm sure that whoever takes up the mantle will uphold the legacy of excellence left by their predecessors. That's all for this week, but be sure to tune in next time when I unlock the vault.
Thank you, Charlie. After the break, Libby and Nate will fill you in on this past Jam Week weekend of Messiah sports.
I am so grateful for the ways that Messiah has helped me see my career anew. Thanks to my education and this journey at Messiah, I was able to achieve my goal of being a professor. And so every day I get to share my experiences, my faith, and my education with students.
Absolutely filthy goal there. Boom goes the dynamite.
Welcome to YBTV Sports on Falcon Update. I'm Nate Harlacker.
And I'm Libby Zimmerman.
It was another action-packed weekend for Messiah Athletics. 3 teams in cross country competed in an NCAA postseason contest. Messiah Women's Basketball hosted their tip-off tournament, and Messiah Women's Volleyball competed in the MAC Commonwealth Playoffs.
Messiah Wrestling was in action this weekend, taking part in the Shenandoah Invitational. The wrestling team took first place in the Invitational with a 204.5 points. Asa Brunk and Levi Snyder, Keegan Demarst and Austin Brass all took first place in their weight classes, and the Falcons picked up 15 other podium finishes in a dominant performance.
Cross country competed at the NCAA Mid-Atlantic Regional meet on Saturday. The men took 7th in the meet while the women took 13th. All 5 women competing for the Falcons picked up a new personal best. Luca Federer finished in the top 20 for the Falcons, and 3 other Falcons finished inside the top 50 to round out the cross country season.
Messiah Field Hockey was in action at the NCAA tournament after earning a large bid. After a win at home on Wednesday in the opening round, the team traveled to Williams College for the first Sweet 16. The 2 goals from Leah Briner sent the Falcons to the 8 Elite on Sunday against Williams. A late goal from Chelsea Carpenter was not enough as the Falcons fell 2-1, ending their great season.
Messiah Women's Volleyball hosted the MAC Championship after defeating Stevenson in the semifinal. Familiar foe, the Eastern Eagles, came to Grantham for the championship contest. Earlier in the season, the teams battled in a 5-set thriller, which ended with Messiah's first ever win at Eastern. The championship match was also an instant classic. The Falcons dominated the first set and won a tightly contested second to take a 2-set lead. The Eagles fought back, winning sets 3 and 4, sending the match to a 5th set to decide the MAC Commonwealth. After dropping the previous 2 sets, the Falcons came out flying, jumping out to a 6-1 lead. The Falcons never looked back, winning the 5th set 15-7 and winning the first women's volleyball title in program history.
What an amazing accomplishment for women's volleyball, and make sure to come back next week as we will be highlighting this historic season for the team in more depth.
Now, it is time to shift gears to some highlights with this week's edition of the Falcon 4.
Starting off our Falcon 4 highlights, this weekend at Messiah, women's basketball team hosted their annual tip-off tournament. The Falcons wrapped off the weekend on Saturday with a fierce mashup against the Prof of Rowan University, featuring some powerful moments from Reese Harden. Give it to Charlotte Milanese, who gives it down to Reese Harden, who just drives it up the court, just swerving past all those defenders, finding a hole and just going right in for that layup. We're going to take a second look at that here in a second. And again, Charlotte Milanese, who just passes it to Reese Harden, and she's just swerving everybody there, just dodging all those defenders, going in for a layup with the opposite hand, too. Just a beautiful shot there. This layup from Harden helped the Falcons break the knot and pull away, dominating the following quarters and securing the victory against the Profs. Reese Harden went on to be named tournament MVP after posting 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. The team will continue on in their season as they host the Lions of Penn State Harrisburg on Wednesday at 7 p.m. in Hitchcock Arena.
On Saturday, the Messiah men's soccer team started their journey toward another national title against the number 18 Red Dragons of Cortland. The team traded goals in the second half and battled through 2 overtime periods, with the game being decided in PKs. So here we see Adam Carter here, 3-3 in the penalty shootout, and he makes a nice diving save into the left corner there. And all Messiah needs after that is to put one in the back of the net, and they secure the win and will advance on into the NCAA Division III tournament. Right there, Jarek Molote puts it in the back of the net for the Falcons and picked up the big win. They would end up winning that one 2-1 off of penalty kicks, And the final round of the shootout highlighted big games from Carter Morlote, with Carter finishing the night with 4 saves and 2 PKs stopped in the shootout. And Morlote scoring the winning PK plus assisting on Echo Yanka's goal in the second half. The Falcons advanced to face Williams College on Sunday, but the team would fall in heartbreaking fashion, losing 1-0 in double overtime, ending the Falcon season.
On Saturday, the women's volleyball team faced off against the Eagles of Eastern University in Hitchcock Arena in the Breedis being named MAC Commonwealth Tournament Most Valuable Player. The women will continue on the road to the NCAA Championship this coming weekend.
On Sunday, the Messiah women's soccer team took on Case Western Reserve University in the second round of the NCAA tournament. The Falcons and Spartans kept it notched at 0-0 for most of the contest until Hannah Adair had some late game magic. So here we see Addie Martin getting the ball here. Look at that time, 1:17 left in the game. And then we see Adair shoving a defender, cutting on one, putting a shot into the far post of the net and past the goalie. And the Falcons take a 1-0 lead with a minute to go. How exciting is that as we see the celebration there. There we see defender falling down, Adair with a nice cut, and then just drills it beautifully into the back corner of the net. And the Falcons picked up the 1-0 win. Adair's game winner sends the Falcons to St. Louis, Missouri this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. for the Sweet 16 and will take on the University of Chicago. Make sure to tune into the game at gomessiah.tv or ncaa.com.
And what a win for Messiah women's soccer to send them through to the Sweet 16 once again. YBTV sports reporter Caleb Kukin had the chance to cover the women's matches at home for the weekend and talk to the second round game winner Hannah Adair.
Shoemaker Field hosted 2 rounds of NCAA soccer tournament action this weekend. The Falcons started off the tournament with a dominating 6-1 win over Gordon. But the team had to reel in the excitement and get ready to play Case Western the very next day.
We are very much a team that takes it one game at a time. So we enjoyed it last night. We enjoyed the win, but then this morning we came back together as a team. We did a Devo, we kind of recentered ourselves, and Coach always says, especially in the NCAA, every game is the most important game.
Early Sunday afternoon, round 2 started, and Case Western and Messiah battled in a physical back-and-forth game, but a tough game is exactly what the Falcons were expecting.
We knew they were a good team. We knew they've played really good teams this season, so we knew they were going to put up a big fight, but we were so ready to match them.
The game stood at 0-0 for 89 minutes until this happened.
Addie played me a perfect ball. I took a touch across and shot and just kind of set up a prayer, but I was so confident. I'm so confident in this team and our abilities, and I don't know. I'm so proud of us, and I just love every single one of the girls so much.
The Falcons will be taking on the University of Chicago Maroons next Saturday in the Sweet 16.
We're very much a team that takes things one step at a time, so I think we're really excited to travel. We haven't been able to travel a lot, and just kind of honoring the seniors at the end of the game here today. This was their last game on the shoe, so I'm glad we could make them proud, but we're excited to continue making them proud in the rest of the tournament.
Make sure to keep up with the team as they look to make it to their 3rd straight Final Four. For YBTV Sports, I'm Caleb Kukin.
What a great way to end the week for Messiah Sports.
It was, and it will be exciting to see the women play this upcoming weekend in the Sweet 16. That is all for Falcon Update, but we have a special edition of YB Tonight coming up. After the break, Rosie Schiano will be interviewing President Kim Phipps. Stay tuned for KP Tonight.
Rosie, what are you still doing here? We have this show in like half an hour.
Danielle, just a little stressed, trying to apply for jobs, and I'm just not having any luck.
Well, what are you looking for?
Literally anything, Danielle. Do you have any ideas?
Well, actually, they're having open interviews for KP's job right now.
Do you think I should go?
I think you should.
Do you think I can make it?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're back here in half an hour, you're good.
Okay. I need to change, but I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. I'm at Old Main. I just need a second. You got this. You got this. Okay. made it. I'm just gonna prepare before they do any final last calls. You got this. You're prepared. You're qualified. You can do this. It's been like 20 minutes and nobody's called me. Maybe I'll just go back there. Look at the room. Karen Bisbee, she's not the president. President's office. Perfect. You got this, Rosie. I'm gonna make a first change here. That's better. Wow. I could get used to this. This is definitely bigger than my desk. It's way better too. Let's get to work. Larry. 2 monitors, I could get used to this. Oh, I guess it wouldn't hurt to try. Hello, the president's office. Please hold. It's been such a long day. Just kick my feet up. Oh, this feels nice. Kind of getting hungry. Oh, yeah.
President Phipps, it's time for... Oh, you're not my boss?
Oh, no. Good evening and welcome to our very special edition of KP Tonight. I'm your host, Rosie Ciano, and I have the incredible opportunity to introduce you to our campus president, Kim Phipps.
Hi, Rosie.
Thank you for being here.
Great to see you.
Great to see you.
You've been hanging out in my office some, I see.
I have, and I have to say this chair isn't as comfortable as yours, but it's not too bad.
Oh, good. Well, you fill it well.
Oh, thank you. How are you?
I'm well.
Good. Well, thank you for being here.
Sure.
We're just going to get right into it. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So, what was your career path like before you came to Messiah?
I always knew I wanted to teach. I thought I would teach high school, but when I went to graduate school in communication, I decided I definitely wanted to be a professor. So I was at Malone University in Ohio as a professor, and then the department chair, and then dean, and then was recruited to Messiah to be a dean, then became the provost and the president. So I've always been in academics.
Right, always in education, always wanting to
Absolutely.
do that, of course.
Right.
So I know your day isn't how I portrayed it to be, just sitting down, eating York peppermint patties,
No,
looking
I
at
don't even
Larry.
like them.
So what does your day kind of look like?
Yeah. Well, one of the things I love most about the presidency is that it is very varied. So there may be some days I'm not even on campus because I'm meeting with donors, or I'm involved in the community on a variety of boards, or like last Friday I was preaching in chapel at Lancaster Mennonite High School and then meeting with donors in the afternoon. So there's that aspect. Then there's days that are involved with a lot of one-on-one appointments. So the Vice President for Diversity Affairs reports to me, the Provost reports to me, and so we spend time, obviously, both they update me in terms of what's going on, but also as we look at our overall strategic plan, how we're doing and what are we accomplishing. And then I try to be involved in a lot of just campus life activities. So whether it's the volleyball game, or the soccer match, or whether it's a recital, or it's an event sponsored by Campus Ministries, just to try to get some sense, always some contact with students and be a part of student life is important to me. So the days are usually, I usually start in the office around 7:30. Most evenings are filled with activities, and a lot of that is pure joy, actually. And then there's also what I would call budget meetings and things. Not so much joy, but you have to be able to have the finances and the resources to make things work. So there's just a lot of variety to it, but very people-oriented.
Right, so that sounds obviously like a lot. I was not able to fill that in the 3.5 minutes, but kudos to you and being able to do that for so many years and doing it well. Not many people could do that. Yes, of course. So like as you said before, you started out, all your life has been education.
Right.
What kind of prompted you to want to become president of Messiah?
Well, I had an opportunity to serve as the acting president.
Okay.
So when I came to Messiah and I was recruited, we had one dean, and then part of my work was to work with President Sawatsky and create the schools. And so when I came, I thought, and I did, I always taught a course in J-term, I thought I would teach, and I loved administration. I loved working with committees and working with people and helping to accomplish things on behalf of students. And I always thought I would go back to teaching. I didn't think I would stay in administration. Well, my second year here as the dean, the president asked me to consider being the provost because the provost had decided to resign and return to teaching at another university. So I was very prayerful about it, and I thought, well, I love Messiah, I love the mission. There's some things I think we want to accomplish. I knew we had to add the graduate school and some other things. So I agreed to be the provost, and then the third year that I was the provost, President Sawatsky became ill with cancer, with glioblastoma. And so I supported him through it, and then when he had to leave, I was the acting president. So I had a chance to try it on.
Right.
And I didn't know if I would like to be the president because I knew I would have to travel and be away a lot. But one of the things I found in being the president was that students know they have a president. They may not always know, but they know they have a president.
Yes.
So it was easier than when I was in other administrative roles. It was easier to make connections with students and to really, I wanted to create a campus culture rooted in hospitality and embrace of each other and different ideas and perspectives, but focusing more on what we have in common than what we disagree about. And so that really was what energized me then. But I don't think I would have ever applied if I hadn't had a chance
to try it
be
on
in that
before.
role.
Right.
And I had a lot of people who encouraged me, both students and alums and colleagues and the board. So that made a difference too.
Definitely not one size fits all.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So being here for so many years, what has been your favorite part of being president of Messiah?
Definitely the people, and my husband Kelly, who by the way has just been a wonderful support. Together, we talk about that all the time, and when people ask me what I'll miss most, it's absolutely the people. So being around students who really want to make a difference and who care about others, care about their neighbor, that certainly is the highlight. But then we work with wonderful colleagues, faculty and administrators, but also staff, like our hourly staff, whether they're cleaning buildings or they're cutting my lawn and stuff. They're amazing people who do it with excellence.
Yes.
They love students. So I think the best part is just the people of Messiah, the community.
Of course, definitely. And I think that's one thing you hear about Messiah. It's the community and the people. And we're not known as students as a number. It's by our actual first and last name.
Absolutely.
So definitely done a great job with that. You are the first female president of Messiah. How was that transition for you?
Yeah. One of the reasons I think, a president's appointed by the board. So even right now, as they're searching for the next president.
Am I on that list?
you will be in a few years, I think.
Go.
But absolutely, that whole process is board driven. The board makes the decision, but they ask for input from the community about what a president should be, et cetera. I think the board was supportive of me as a woman because we had a woman chair, a woman named Eunice Steinbrecher. We were one of the few Christian colleges in the country who was led by a woman board chair, and I think that helped some of our board members who maybe had never really worked with women as colleagues but had always women in support roles to see that potential. So I had tremendous support from the campus community as well as from the board. For some students, it was difficult because if they came from churches where women weren't allowed to teach or weren't ordained, so they had to learn to kind of separate that, I think, from having a professor. And for me, it's just about being in relationship with people. So even if people didn't maybe approve of or had questions about the fact that I was a woman president. It was certainly trying to make sure that my work was done well and that I was competent and they could see that, but then also establishing a relationship with individuals and really listening to even their concerns. And you know, you're in communication, I'm in communication. We're people who know about persuasion.
Of course.
And so you work that interpersonally as well as publicly. I'm going to win them over.
Of course. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
That's one thing I've learned. Goes a long way.
It is.
Yeah. So being on campus, interacting with students left and right, and even your administration, what has been like a few of your favorite memories being on campus?
Yeah, a lot of really great memories. Certainly I would say times of student celebration. So, you know, winning championships or student debates for SGA or just times. Oh, I love International Gala. It's one of my favorite events of the year. So wonderful times of celebration with students, I think, certainly. We've had certain events. In 2008, we hosted Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton on campus with CNN.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
Fun
and
fact.
It was really an exciting time. It was actually, my husband had been in a meeting in D.C. He pitched Messiah because this other school had turned down this opportunity. So CNN came and broadcast a compassion forum. So it wasn't a debate. They interviewed Hillary Clinton first and then Barack Obama. We invited John McCain, who was the Republican candidate, and he wasn't in a race like Barack and Hillary were against each other, so he didn't come. But it was an amazing time. You know, we had to go through all the security clearance. We had over 300 media outlets here, so students got to work alongside. And it was really a great night. It was very electrifying, so that was great. But then I would also say another wonderful time, to be honest, was when we opened up after COVID, the first time in the fall that we were able to, in 2021, like be face-to-face and not be masked. I mean, I can remember just walking across campus and crying and thinking, this is how it's supposed to be, where we can really
see each other
and be with each other. That was a great time. And then I would also say, you know, we've had lots of wonderful speakers and concerts. Those are great. So many, many, many good memories.
That's awesome. I can't imagine all the great things you've seen while just being here, and just being a part of this community just speaks volumes left and right. So as we know, this is your last full year serving as Messiah president. What are your future plans? What's next year looking like for you?
Sure. And, you know, I have to remember one other wonderful event. When you and I interviewed Jane Pauley together.
Yes.
So one of my favorite student newscasters, and Jane Pauley, somebody I had grown up really admiring, and we had a chance to do that. That was great.
That was amazing.
But our plans, Kelly and I are going to live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That's where we'll settle. And
not
we
too
have
far
a home
from campus.
There. Right. And, you know, I'll stay away for a while. I want the new president to have his or her time. But then we can sneak back for a sporting event or a concert. But I'm going to be volunteering and working with Church World Service, helping with refugee resettlement. And getting trained myself in how to teach English to non-English speakers. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we have an alum named Peter Greer, who is the CEO of Hope International. And they have college or university interns every semester. So I'm going to be a leadership mentor for those interns, because if I didn't have university or college students, I would lose my mind.
Of course.
So those are the things that I'm looking forward to. And my husband Kelly is an attorney who's retired, and he's being trained as a mediator and is going to do mediation for people who can't afford attorneys and help them work through their difficulties. So we feel like we have some good things to be involved in, and purposeful things.
Keep your time busy, of course. Important question. Is Larry coming with you for the move?
Yes. Larry's going to make the move. The thing about Larry is Larry will go with us wherever. As long as Larry has a comfy couch.
He's there.
And he's fed, and we're people. But he's going to miss his dog walkers, I will tell you. We've had great students who've been the dog walkers, and so now it's only us. So I think he'll be sad about that.
A little sad. Is there anything I missed?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, we'll be right back after this break. We'll see you there.
So good.
When I visited Messiah, I loved the community here, and it made me feel really welcome, and the applied health science major was the perfect fit for what I wanted to study.
We're training students at Messiah to be leaders in the allied health professions. They're going to make
an incredible impact on the health of others all over the world. Our students can choose concentrations in pre-professional, pre-physical and occupational therapy, pre-athletic training, and in exercise science.
I did an internship where I was able to shadow some strength and conditioning sessions with our men's soccer team, and that was really a meaningful experience for me to apply what I know.
All of the professors I had were really focused on integrating Christ into what we did in the classroom and reminded us of the way that God created us and how we can see that in other people as we go on from here.
And then we also teach them ways to interact with their future clients, patients, athletes in ways that not only are focused on writing effective prescription or rehabilitation, but really seek to support people in their journey, mind, body, and spirit.
In my senior seminar class, we have had the opportunity to work with a client as a conditioning consultant, and I've found this experience really valuable because I've been able to put into practice what I've learned into class into a practical situation.
Our students have a real advantage. In many cases, they've had additional training above and beyond what's necessary to gain entry into graduate programs.
So I'm really grateful for the opportunity that this program has offered me.
Welcome back to KP Tonight. Thanks, guys. So earlier today on our social media, we had a drop box where students were able to ask questions for President Phipps. Let's take a look at what they want to know. So our first student wants to know, what is one piece of advice that you have for the incoming president?
Take time to establish relationships.
Of course.
Because ultimately, whatever work you do, whatever goals you set and everything, it really is about the people you serve. So I would say develop relationships.
Develop relationships for whoever asked that question. All right, question 2. Well, I guess you already answered this one, but what are you going to do now that you don't have a typical, well, I guess your schedule wasn't even a typical 9 to 5.
Yeah, I'm actually a little nervous about that because I've never been a person that had like lots of hobbies and stuff. I just love the work that I do. I love being with people. But in addition to the volunteer work that we're going to do, I look forward to being in a book club. I do enjoy cooking, and I've always wanted to take lessons in Thai cooking and some other cuisines that I really enjoy. So I'm going to try to do that. And then I am going to be serving on a couple of boards as well, just again, in just volunteering time. So I hope to have a really full life, but maybe to have a little more time in the morning to drink a cup of coffee, watch the news,
yes,
etc.
of course.
That's right.
Have you been to the Thai restaurant, Bangkok Walk on the Pike?
I have been. I've been to every Thai restaurant in the area.
I am there too often. They know what I get. I'm
there
like,
you
I
go.
should hide my face. It's too good.
It is very good.
Okay, question 3. What Bible verse has been helpful during your presidency?
I think Ephesians chapter 3, verses 20 and 21 about, now to him who is exceeding abundantly beyond all that we ask or think. He can do those things according to the power that works within us. And I just think you have to be reminded in the presidency that no matter how hard you work or what you do, it's really God who is in control,
of course.
God who provides, God who's in it, and that our God is a big God. So we should be able to think of really the impossible almost sometimes. And I think through COVID, through the economic downturn of 2008, or even through fundraising, that wasn't my background, and we've raised over $180 million. Wow. Those kinds of big goals, starting graduate school, those kinds of things, I refer back to that Ephesians 3 verse and just being reminded that God can do exceeding abundantly beyond all that we ask or think.
Of course. Student 4 wants to know, how have you been blessed by your experience at Messiah?
Oh, so many ways. I think, blessed again by people. So there's certainly the student piece, and I've mentioned faculty, staff, and students, but let me also say something about like our trustees and our donors. So there we have people who love Messiah, whose names are on buildings here, on set, who some of them have never had the opportunity to go to college themselves. We had one donor who just significantly gave to Messiah who never got to finish high school. and she was a widowed woman, and I'd spend time with her, and she just wanted to make education possible for someone else. But I learned so much from her story, so I think it's realizing both the external and internal community of Messiah and all the individual stories that I've been so deeply touched by.
Right. And I think that's something you can tell at Messiah is that people can tell we're different than any other campus, and people want to give back, even, as you said, people that didn't even attend this school.
That's right.
Right. Okay, we have time for one more question.
Okay.
What is the greatest advice you have been given to prepare for this role?
I think the greatest advice that I was given for the presidency was to be authentic and be myself. And that was actually one of the things I worried a little bit about when I was encouraged to apply for the presidency. I knew some presidents that I just didn't like. They were arrogant. They were really seemed to be very caught up with themselves and their own giftedness or whatever. And a very wise colleague at another institution said to me, if you're going to be the president, be authentic, lead from who you are. And he also said to me, and lead from the middle. You don't have to be out in front, you don't have to be behind, but join with people, hold their hands, and walk together. And so that was very important to me, those words of advice.
Well, I'm here to tell you that you did that,
Well,
and you
thank
continue
you.
to do that, and you've made such an impact on Messiah.
Well, thank
and
you.
our
It's
students
been
have
a
been
privilege.
so blessed to have you as our president.
Well, I love you all, and I really can't imagine life without you, so I'm going to just always be reading everything I can about Messiah, rooting Messiah on,
Yes.
and I'm grateful for social media because it does allow me to continue to see students and their careers and what they're doing, and that's a wonderful gift, actually.
It is, it is. So, right after this break, we will be coming back, and KP will be answering this or that Messiah edition questions.
Messiah University has helped me to see my career anew. As I've journeyed through my life, I've had the opportunity to be both businessman, missionary, and now using my experiences in my education to grow other people. And so I'm excited about the opportunities I have now to see myself progress and develop the next generation of leaders.
I am so grateful for the ways that Messiah has helped me see my career anew. Thanks to my education and this journey at Messiah, I was able to achieve my goal of being a professor. And so every day I get to share my experiences, my faith, and my education with students.
I always forget about them, but I love having them here. So now that we're back, we'll be finishing our time here with President Phipps by playing This or That Messiah Edition. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What is better, Lottie Falcon Filet or popcorn chicken ball?
Falcon Filet.
Falcon Filet. Fall semester, spring semester?
Fall semester.
Fall semester. When you're working, do you prefer to listen to music or to work in silence?
Silence.
Silence. Hammocking by the breaches or playing pickleball on the newly lit courts?
Definitely hammocking. I'm not very coordinated, so pickleball's too much for me.
That's all right. Morning owl or morning owl or night owl?
Morning owl. Early
Mornings for sure. Reading textbooks or listening to a lecture?
Listening to a lecture.
Okay. Handwriting notes or typing notes?
Handwriting notes.
Falcon or Union?
Oh. Falcon.
Falcon, I agree. Favorite study spot on campus, Cafe Diem or the Stacks?
The Stacks.
Stacks. Favorite season on campus, fall or spring?
Fall into Christmas. Christmas is my favorite season. Can
Right?
I say that?
They just put up the bows.
That's
I love
right.
It. The red
We're
bows.
getting ready.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yes. Whiteout March or the Marshmallow Bowl.
Whiteout March.
And Fosnot Day or Warm Cookie Day.
Probably Fosnot Day.
Fosnot Day?
I know Warm Cookie Day soon, and it's more often, but we had so much fun the first time we did Fosnot Day.
Yes.
Ordering all those, like, hundreds of Fosnots, and I have tender memories of that.
Of course, and like not one being left over, right?
Exactly.
Everybody's
I think probably there's never any leftover cookies either.
Correct. Right. Okay, so we zipped through those questions, but I am going to insert my live audience. I'm going to work with them. Does anybody have a this or that question for President Phipps? Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner at Lottie?
Christmas dinner at Lottie.
Christmas dinner at Lottie. Next. Our live audience is still thinking. What's green or purple?
I'd say green.
Green?
Yeah, between the two. Yeah, green.
Yeah. Somebody else, please. Not Messiah related, but okay. Sheets or Wawa?
Oh, definitely Wawa.
Wawa. You heard it here, guys. Wawa.
Yeah, I'm moving to Lancaster. It's Wawa country.
There's so many Wawas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
One more question.
Cereal or yogurt for breakfast?
Cereal or yogurt for breakfast?
Cereal.
Cereal. What kind?
Granola, really.
Granola? Love that. Okay. Anybody else before we wrap it up?
Any fashion advice?
Any fashion advice? I guess that's not really this or that, but
I would say be yourself again too. Have your own style.
have your own
unique
style, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. Ethan Gregory, please.
What's your favorite sport on campus?
That's not this or that.
Oh.
Ethan Gregory wants to know what her favorite sport is. And why.
I will have to say, love all sports, love all
That's a
athletes.
biased question.
But I really have learned to, we've learned to love soccer here at Messiah. Messiah has taught us that. And so now, we do watch Premier League. Ted Lasso was one of our favorite shows, those kinds of things. So I think I've just learned soccer wasn't something I grew up with. It was, I was from New York. It was baseball, football, and that. But we've really learned to love soccer. But I love anything that Messiah students are participating in. Go Falcons.
There you go. Go Falcons. You heard it here. She loves it all. Anything else before we wrap it up?
Just know, thank you. I'm a big fan of Yellow Breeches TV.
We love
and thanks
having
for
you
the
here.
great work that you guys do all the time in keeping campus informed as well as entertained. So appreciate you very much.
Thank you for all your support.
Absolutely.
President Phipps, everybody. All right. Thank you for coming out to our show. And we just pray that you have the best retirement and that you just learn how to live a little slower and just appreciate every moment. Yes, of course. So that concludes KP Tonight. Don't worry, we'll be right back next week for a new edition. Have a great night, Messiah.